So here's the interesting article that I've come across, which touches on some rather interesting additional real-world assets tokenization coin projects. So for the first one, it's to do with Inks1, which is a US regulated trading platform that looks into tokenizing the real estate and the tokenized securities on the blockchain. Now, if you recall in some of my earlier videos, Ondo Finance is the current leader in this space, but is really expected to see some other additional fintech players are going to be taking on some of that market share, even for the same type of tokenized assets. So this is healthy competition, and it can only be good news for us investors. In the Inks1 platform, users can trade tokenized shares of the Magnificent Seven companies like Google, Tesla, Microsoft, Nvidia, which is backed on a 1-on-1 ratio with their underlying assets. It even broadens the net to one of the renowned ETFs like the S&P 500 ETF and the BlackRock iShares Treasury ETF. Very, very interesting. The second of the three that I want to bring to your attention is tokenizing notarized real estate on the blockchain, which is actually integrated with the land registries. Now, this makes total sense because I've touched, again, various episodes on Mantra, which is one of the first fintech player responsible for tokenizing the Dubai Realtors set of premium real estate in the region on the blockchain. Well, obviously the logical next step is to think about tokenizing the notarial services. So when people actually purchase these premium real estate properties, they need to think about how to take that next step further and actually arrange deed titles around the ownership of these physical analog assets on the blockchain. So it makes sense to actually go ahead and tokenize these notarial services in the real estate industry. That's just another logical next step, evolution, tokenizing real estate 2.0 on the blockchain. And lastly, which I find the most interesting out of the three, is tokenizing specific physical assets such as GPUs, IoT devices and Wi-Fi hotspots on what they call here the decentralized physical infrastructure network assets, DPIN for short, which says that it purports to slash costs for AI developers by crowdsourcing compute and locking liquidity for asset owners, and indeed expanding the blockchain's reach into real world infrastructure, physical infrastructure. Now, this is actually very, very interesting because we all know that the GPU chips are responsible for training AI models. So you might have heard renowned players like Nvidia and some other players out there. So this actually, again, makes sense that the blockchain is broadening the net to actually have this crowdsourced compute network function within the blockchain. It's not just the physical analog assets that you and I can touch and play in our day-to-day lives, like real estate, tokenized treasuries, shares, and so on. But in addition to that, they're going into the physical infrastructure realm, which again is rather an interesting development. And all of these coin projects, it really all mounts up to the major trend that we are seeing, that this 2034 infamous estimate provided by the major consultancy firms like Boston Consulting Group and all the rest of it, they are estimating a whopping $30 trillion industry by 2034-35 period. The actual industry behind real world assets is definitely buoyant, and it's definitely worth considering from an investment standpoint to do your research in this space, because this is growing. I have made an explanation on the early videos that anything that you can think of, any physical asset that you can touch and feel in our day-to-day lives that have that economic value attached, that in itself is a perfect candidate to be tokenized on the blockchain. So, like I said, the list of these candidates is growing, and we are seeing through the news like these additional coin projects that are unfolding and coming into the mainstream. So really interesting times. So that's all I want to discuss in today's episode. If you haven't done so already, to like and share this video to like-minded individuals, friends and colleagues at work. And if you haven't done so already, to please subscribe to my channel, as I regularly publish some interesting videos such as these, anything to do with Bitcoin, blockchain technology and the future of finance. So until next time.